Hey guys, my name is Evan and welcome to Country View Acres. So today, me and Rebekah, we're going to start putting the metal on the ceiling here in the workshop. So we've got some barn metal that we're going to put on the ceiling in here. And what we just picked up from the barn is an old set of scaffolding. And we're going to set that up as a rolling scaffold. We've got this side of the room, it's already cleaned out over here. And we're going to start on that side. But we're going to try to set that up as a rolling scaffold and see if we can use that, standing on top of that scaffold, to be able to attach the metal to the ceiling. So we'll have to see how this goes. I think we've got everything prepared as far as we can. We've got all the J-channel run around the side of the room for the ceiling. We've got all our wiring across and everywhere through the ceiling. So I think we're as prepped as we can be, and I think we're ready to go ahead and start putting this on. But let's go ahead and get that scaffolding put together. All right. If you haven't seen us use this scaffold before, we've used it a couple times building the scaffolding up to the roof to put log oil on our house. So it's come in handy a few times. It has shown up in a few videos. This is actually my grandfather's old scaffold, and that's been in the family for a very long time, and it shows because it's very rusty. So this is a 7-foot scaffold, I believe is what the width is. I think they still make scaffolds like this. So I think I could get additional pieces that would work with this, but so far just having 2 sections has worked out pretty good. Sometimes the last couple braces can be a little tough. So these wheels slide up inside of the legs. You got to do both of them at the same time. And Rebekah has to pay attention. There we go. So that's the base structure for the scaffold. So we're going to go ahead, throw some boards on the top, and keep building up. I'm going to push on it. Okay. Now you can slide it over. I don't know if you're going to be tall enough. Just out of reach. Go ahead and lock all our feet. Make this a little bit more stable. All right, we're going to go ahead and level this up best we can. Oh. Yeah, this thing's been in the barn for a little while. Probably needs a little bit of oil sprayed on it. All right, I just use a scaffold board for this direction, and it looks pretty good. Let me stand up. Thank you. All right, we've got our scaffold assembled, and right now, from the height that the platform is, I can't reach the ceiling. I just need a few more inches. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna make a platform of boards across this bar right here, and that is at the 8-foot level. And I think that'll get it high enough where I can reach the ceiling and put on the metal. All right, we got our scaffolding assembled. Ended up having to use a couple 2x6s because of that brace that goes down there. But pretty much got the whole floor covered up. I think there's about 1.5 inches opening. Not enough to fall through. And the way this height of this ends up working out, you can see we're right here at the joist. So my head is just underneath this joist. So it's like the perfect height to probably reach up here and put the ceiling and screw it to these roof joists or these roof trusses. So pretty happy with the way this looks right now and the way it's put together, but we're gonna have to try it out and see if this is gonna work. This may not work out. We'll see what happens. So I bought this metal from Lester Pole Buildings, and any pole building company that bends their own metal, you can get metal that's thinner for the inside of your barn. So it's not like a heavy gauge. This is like an interior rated, metal siding, and it's going to be a lot lighter. It's a little bit cheaper since it's not as heavy as a gauge. It's a lot lighter. Should be easier for us to lift this up on the ceiling and get it attached. So we went ahead and we hung a string the same distance out from each end, so that string's going to make sure that we put the ceiling on straight. All right, we got the first row in. We got 12 more to go. All right, it's the beginning of day 3 of installing the ceiling here in the workshop. This is a pretty big job. The first day, we got the scaffold set up. We got 8 sheets put on the ceiling. Yesterday, we got 28 sheets put up. So we got into a pretty good groove yesterday, got a good method down. And today, we only have 16 sheets left to do, a total of 4 rows. And hopefully, we'll get that up fairly quick and be finished with the ceiling. Because believe me, Rebekah and I are both feeling it in our shoulders, working over our head this whole time. So these pieces of barn metal, we ordered these pre-cut. So we got a total of 3 different lengths that we're putting up here on the ceiling. And when I ordered it, I guess I wasn't thinking straight at all, because I ordered exactly what I needed to put on the ceiling, and I didn't order any extra whatsoever, not an extra piece, nothing. Big mistake. So yesterday I ended up dropping this, and I dropped it on the ground. I dented up this end, and I've tried straightening that out as best as I can. And it probably wouldn't be too noticeable on the ceiling, but once I finally got it up there to put it on the ceiling, I found out that I had cut it wrong, and this outlet hole was actually supposed to be at the other end. So I've got this one that is messed up, and it's got an outlet hole in the wrong spot. So I have to use this piece if I want to finish the ceiling. So we're going to somehow try to incorporate this onto this last side when we do it. Now there is some outlets up there that are actually for retractable cords. So I have the possibility of maybe moving an outlet around to match the hole in this sheet so everything works out. But definitely made a big mistake cutting that wrong and not ordering any extra. So ever since then we've been double checking, triple checking, making sure we're cutting everything right. And so far, we haven't made any more major mistakes like this. But anyway, let's go get the last of these 16 sheets up and figure out how we're going to get this messed up sheet in the ceiling so that it looks okay. So one thing we've done to try to make this easier, instead of standing here the whole time holding this sheet up while I put the screws in, that's pretty hard on your arms the whole time. So we ended up making this little T-post board that we can slide up under here, and then Rebekah can actually just kind of hold it like this and hold up on it. She's not lifting up over her head, and she's basically just got to hold on to it till I get I put about 5 screws in it. I get a row down the middle, and then after that she can let go and the sheet will stay up by itself. So this has definitely made this easier, you know, instead of lifting your arms over your head the whole time. So the last row has to be cut off. It's actually going to be a little bit narrower. So we went ahead, we've marked the sheet, and I'm just going to end up using an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. I think it's just going to be easy. It's going to throw a lot of sparks, but it's just easy and small to handle. I just think it's probably the easiest choice for this. So as we've been putting the ceiling on, a lot of these outlets don't quite line up perfectly. Like this one is right here on the rib of the ceiling, and we moved that over so it's more in a flat spot. And this one right here, I think I'm going to be able to move that over somewhere in this area right here, and I think we can get it to line up with the sheet that we cut incorrectly, and we got a hole in the wrong spot. It almost looks like this is going to work out perfectly for us. So we're going to take a few measurements, remount this outlet box, and I think that's going to save us on that sheet we cut wrong. I think it's going to work out.
It could come towards you some.
To me?
Yeah, right there.
Right there? I got it.
Right, okay.
All right, I got the outlet to align in the hole in the middle pretty good. That looks good. But the only bad thing is I still have the dented part. So right here, it's all dented up along here. And doesn't look the greatest, but I don't think there's much more I can do with that. Probably won't even notice it from the ground. So we just finished putting the last couple pieces of metal on the ceiling. And we went ahead, we've broken down the scaffold, we've got it all stacked to the side, and I think we're pretty well cleaned up. And I think the ceiling turned out fantastic. Really happy with the way it looks. Did find I missed a couple screws back over there that I'm gonna have to go back and hit. And then that one spot where the dent was in that one corner of that piece, you can't really see it. You have to really try to find it. So I think it turned out great. So real happy with the way the ceiling looks. And this has been a long week, and I'm happy that we got it done today because this was my last day off. I got to go back to work tomorrow. And yeah, I took vacation, Rebekah took vacation, we both took vacation this week. And the plan was to try to get this all done. So we spent the first half of the week putting in these walls, framing the walls up. And then we spent the last part of our vacation putting in the ceiling. And it has been a long vacation, not much of a vacation, you know. But this is one of our goals for the year, and we got it done. And we did take one day off to relax. We took one day off. We went out and got some dinner because it was my birthday. I ended up 45 years old this week. Definitely can feel it in my muscles, that's for sure. But, you know, I think probably one of the best birthday presents that I could probably ask for was my wife being willing to come out here and help me all week long. She helped me frame up all these walls and helped me put up that ceiling. I couldn't have done the ceiling alone. There's no way I could have done that by myself. I would have had some kind of help. And I think that's probably the best birthday present I could ask for, is having a spouse that's willing to come out here and help me do those things and help me do the things that I want to do. This is definitely not something that would be on her list to do, that's for sure. But she's willing to help me, and that's great. So I really do want to thank Rebekah for coming out and helping me this week. It's a big help. So one other thing I got done this week is I did get outlets wired up on this divider wall. So I've got outlets on the workshop side, I've got outlets on the garage side. So additional outlets for both rooms. So now the workshop is pretty well complete on power. I've got power on all 4 walls around the workshop, and I think I'm ready to go ahead and start grabbing all my tools and everything and really try to get them arranged where I want them. So I think once the tools are all rearranged, I'm going to still have plenty of space in here. I should have plenty of space to bring in the Alice Chalmers tractor. Plan on parking that in here sometime soon so that I can start working on that in here where it's going to be heated. Now, of course, it isn't going to be holding heat quite yet. I got one more thing to do, and that's going to be close off this wall over here and separate it from the garage portion. And then this area should hold some heat. So I already have insulation to put in this wall and to insulate it. And then I've got to find some way to cover the wall up as well. But that should be happening pretty soon. And I may just put plastic or something over the garage door for now until we get a garage door. But hopefully soon I'll get that somewhat sealed off on that side, and we're finally going to hold some heat in here. So this is one of my big goals for the year, is to get the workshop where I can heat it and work on it in the wintertime. And we are like this close to being done. We're this close to having that one achieved. But anyway, it has been a long week this week, and hopefully you guys had a more relaxing week than I did. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.